this, but
Yeah, no problem.
I do want to send it over to my property manager as well. It'll be two of us that are really involved in it, and I just want to make sure, but honestly, all the reviews that I've read over online and people that have recommended, this is the premier system to use out there. So
perfect. I do have a YouTube video of what we're going to do today, but obviously your property manager wants to hear your voice, so it's all good. It's recording now, and so I will send you this link here. We also have an API, so the API is free for you to use. Any piece of information within your database or multiple sites, you can run a script and download your data, automatically store it, external databases, send it to reporting tools automatically. It syncs back and forth, so it's a push and pull API. And for example, here's our API. It'll take your data, push it to an ERP system, QuickBooks, CRM, etc. You don't need that for reporting. We've got all the reporting tools built in. I'll show you that today.
Do you guys integrate with all
our API will integrate with any app that has an API.
So anything that has an API you guys can integrate with?
That is correct.
I guess our sales team and manufacturing team, they're demoing a program called Acumatica. Do you guys integrate with Acumatica?
I've never heard of it. What is it? A quoting system? Sales quote?
It's a ERP system that does
billing and quotations and
all kinds of workflow stuff for manufacturing facilities.
Yeah, for sure. Any ERP, most ERPs will have an API, so you'll be able to integrate with that. Not a problem. And there's no cost to use our API.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, that would be ideal, man. We'd love to integrate everything.
Yeah, I know, it saves time. Today I won't be able to show you the mobile app, but 99.9% of your staff and vendors, they're all going to be on the mobile. Who carries around a laptop these days? So it'll be on iOS and Android. The mobile does have a couple of benefits. The desktop obviously doesn't. Number one is when you create a piece of equipment. So this is my Ford truck right now, my Ford F-150. I can, when I build the database or uploaded, let's say 1,000 Fords, Maxpanda generates a QR code for each asset. So whether it's a pump, a fan, exhaust system, HVACs, etc., you'll automatically get the QR code. You can download, print them, and then paste them on the units themselves. So I can actually scan with my phone this QR code in my truck, update the odometer reading. I could create a trigger that says every 3,000 miles, change the oil. So at 3,000, that's the trigger. It'll create a work order automatically. I can create PMs as a vendor. I can scan it and then complete work orders assigned to me just by scanning this, right? Locations, I mentioned Chris's office, so you can actually print your QR code. This is the boardroom, Maxpanda's boardroom. So anyone can scan it that has access to our account and create a work order against it or complete work orders against the location. Same with parts. We do have a guest portal. Now, I did go to your webpage and I saw a bunch of locations on a Google map. Are those your dispensaries or what were those?
Those are all shops that we are sold in, but they're not our physical locations.
Oh, I see. Okay. So yeah, forget about the guest portal then. Second thing is parts. You can use barcodes and instead of QR codes. I mean, they work the same way. It's all the same. The mobile does work offline. So if somebody's, their internet gets cut, Maxpanda will still work. They can complete the work order. Once they reach their data plan or Wi-Fi signal, Amazon will absorb the work order and update it to the cloud.
Awesome.
Comparing the plans, we do not charge you, our customers, by how many buildings or users you have. Everything is unlimited in Maxpanda. We charge by how many work orders you're generating and approving every month. So if you can keep your work orders under 100, which I guarantee you're not going to, because, you know, restaurants have a lot of PPMs on, you know, in the equipment,
Yeah, absolutely.
property, and especially all of your growing HVAC systems. I think for the size that you're mentioning, even the manufacturing plant, you're probably going to be around the standard or the pro. But anyways, we have we have 5 plans, so you can pay monthly and or yearly. So yearly we provide a huge discount. You can start at the starter and upgrade as you grow with the system. Okay, you don't need to start at the enterprise account. You're not, you know, University of California, Southern Cal. So start with the starter and then just increase as needed. Do you have any questions on the pricing?
No, I mean, that's pretty straightforward, to be honest with you. That's exactly where I was thinking we might lie, is somewhere right there in the middle. You know, obviously I'll have to dive in a little bit deeper with some of the other managers that would be involved in this, but just looking at that is what I'm thinking myself. I was curious where it says the site, so that's what I was asking. If you guys do charge by sites, I do see a site.
We do. We don't charge by site, but we allocate certain number of sites. Now, a site, I have to be clear, it is not a building or your manufacturing plant. It is a Maxpanda account. So the enhanced plan, you have 10 databases, so 10 sites. So each site can have 1,000 manufacturing plants, 10,000 users, 1,000,000 parts, whatever. The limitation is endless, right? So that's why I asked you, if the rental properties, are you going to set up an independent site? IT might want their own site, then retail and restaurant might be another site, and then the growth, the agriculture site could be totally separate, right?
So it's essentially just like entities.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
So like if I take my cultivation site, just because I have 2 locations, doesn't mean I can't lump them and have a bunch of subcategories within each thing as one site.
That's right. The cultivation is going to have eventually 4 different plants, like you said, right? You have 2 plants now, hoping to be 3, and a manufacturing. So those are really just buildings. That's all they are. So that site will have buildings in it, 4 buildings. And those 4 buildings will have each associated location, asset, and part, and people.
Awesome. I would love to dive in to see how that looks, because
yeah, we'll go there right now.
Yeah, that sounds great. You know, I just how I'm hearing it, I'm like, that's awesome.
Okay, so everyone's username is their email. You simply invite people in with their email and you assign them a role. You can assign them to the one site or all the sites or 3 out of 4 sites. It doesn't matter. We do have Office 365 login, AD. I'm going to log in with mine. This is the desktop version. I will stay as a company administrator for most of the presentation. The company admin is going to be Chris. That's you today. I can be maybe one of your staff members or a submitter. Now, a submitter is someone that works in an office, secretary. They're same as a tenant role. So if I log in as a submitter on the desktop, it's the same thing as on the mobile. I can do 2 things. I can submit a work order, and I have a database of all the work orders I submitted. So right now I submitted, hey, please change the filter, right? On October 19, and it's still pending. So no one has approved it yet. So all the submissions in Maxpanda have to be approved by a staff unlimited or higher.
Okay, that's awesome.
So your maintenance staff, they can approve a work order. They can complete. Approving is blue. Let me open up some more here. I got a lot of rejected ones. So once a work order is completed, the person who submitted it can rate all the staff on the work order. So as you can see here, Amber, I gave her a 5. Jack, I gave him a 5. The maintenance guy, 4.5, and then Acme Electric, which is a vendor assigned to the work order, got a 5 as well. So these are the roles here. And again, I'm going to send you, or in the email, it'll have the permissions, but we'll go over all of them real quick. So up here, Today, I'm going to stay in the Maxpanda headquarters site. This site has, I believe, 30 buildings and about 3,000 work orders. Okay. As an example, if I'm logged in as your account, like a company admin, I can go to every one of the other sites. They're totally different database. So I just click New York. These are obviously different work orders. There's different buildings, locations. It's a totally different database, but it is under the umbrella of your corporate account, like all of these sites. So the top role level is the company, then it goes to the site level. So you can have different databases. So again, New York can have just your restaurants as an example, or Santa Monica would be your all your restaurants. So you would create a different site if you wanted to. From the site, then it goes to building group, down to the building. You don't need building groups, but you can set up your buildings per site, because the plant building for the Audi plant in Germany, it's named differently, right? So we want to separate it from the plant in New York. From the building, it goes down to asset location, and parts can be assigned to the asset automatically or independently. So does that clarify like site management?
Yeah. So I guess let's just say I'm the overall admin. I could go log on and like, cultivation, facility, cultivation could be a site.
Yep.
Manufacturing could be a site. Restaurants could be a site.
Yep.
Rentals and sales office or something could be a site. Like all of it could be a site.
That's right. The only reason you want to use the site is if, let's say, you don't want the guys in IT, because this IT department it has all the assets related to internet technology, right? Like hardware and cabling. Those guys want to manage their own assets. They want to manage their own work orders. You don't want these guys to go into the public works site, right? So that's why you want to separate it. So whatever you just said, that'll work perfectly.
Cool.
So
that again, that looks awesome. And
cool.
then within the sites,
it's all unlimited here.
Okay, so maybe buildings. Could you click on buildings?
So these 27 buildings are only in Maxpanda headquarters site.
So if I had, let's say this is a cultivation site, and then I have 3 buildings, like, or 2 cultivation buildings. So each one of those cultivation buildings could have like its own separate stuff within the building.
That's right.
How do you click on a building and look further into the building? So
well, you can edit the building, and it just has the location or the locations assigned to it. Right now, this is a dummy account, but this Sunset Hotel in LA has 10 locations. So each location is the room, reception, roof, parking lot, crawl space.
How can you expand that?
Well,
look into that.
The blue edit button, you can edit the building. And then all the locations that are assigned to it. This is the ready-made database. So once you have you start from the top. So once you have your site name, like your site, let's say Maxpanda HQ set up, then you add all your buildings, then you assign the locations, then you can upload your assets and your inventory. Okay. So here's my locations here, view all locations. These are all locations across for this entire site. So both of your buildings, okay? Each one is a room. Each one is assigned to a specific building. There's assets assigned to the location, one or multiple, whatever. So these are all your assets. So we don't expect you to type them in one at a time. So when you go add location, all this information here, you simply download the multi-data template. It's this info in a horizontal Excel sheet. Copy paste all your locations, assigned to the particular buildings, and upload them, and then go back to view all, and your data is all populated. Now that process is for buildings, locations, assets, inventory, everything in Maxpanda.
Okay. And so can you assign certain inventory for specific locations?
Yeah, yeah. I'll show you that in a few minutes. So let's talk about the user roles now. Company admin, company editor. Now the company admin is the only role that can go into the company tab here. This is where you develop your current plan, your upgrade, downgrade, customize the emails that go out. There's 3 preference pages here, so you can actually make Maxpanda work the way you want it, and you can limit the views. So on the list view that you saw earlier, notice I'm showing all the columns. You can minimize a lot of stuff and customize it and make it look super simple, right? Again, more importantly, your location types and your asset types might be different than, you know, a hospital, right? So let's go to the location type. All of these are pre-populated in Maxpanda. So you're going to get pier, condo, roof, basement. So type and the groups and the categories, we use those to group things together. So a year from now, you can say, show me all my basement costs. Okay, so basement was if a room or something is assigned to this location type, then you don't have to select all your rooms. You can just say, show me all room types for reporting purposes. Okay, if you don't, everything is pre-populated, all of this stuff. So again, create a work order this afternoon. You can change the name, delete, or add as many as you want. Like mining is a new one I added, like all of these here as an example. Same with work categories. As an example, your work categories might be different than you know, a school, for example. So all of this is pre-populated. It'll get you ready to go. All of this stuff here was set up by me for webinars. So obviously you have plumbing and electrical and lighting. Again, you can change the name or remove it or add your own, like lighting 1, lighting 2, halogen, etc. Heat lamps. Again, I can run a report in a year in your account or even in a month and I'll tell you exactly all of your lighting costs, because when someone creates a work order, they are forced to select the category. Well, we're going to create a work order today and I'll show you that in a minute. All right, so the staff roles are your supervisor and your maintenance staff. These are internal paid staff. The difference here is the staff can only complete a work order. After this pending work order is approved, they can only complete it. The supervisor, editor, administrators are the only ones that can close a work order. So once you close a work order, it will disappear from your list, map, and calendar view, and we store it on the AWS under closed work orders permanently. There's no delete buttons for your data. Submitter and tenant, we talked about that already. Vendor role, the main difference here is the vendor limited, we don't allow them to submit a work order in your account. You just assign work orders to them. They're very similar to the staff limited. Staff limited can't pick and choose what work orders they want to complete in a given site or building.
So let's say I have like an HVAC group that we use for stuff. I could create a vendor unlimited account for them where they log in and see the work order we've created for them.
Yes, they still have to be assigned to the work order. We're going to go through that process.
So we would assign it to said vendor. Vendor would get like a notification like work order's been assigned. They could see what it is, and then
through email and push on the cell.
So they could go through, fill it all out, and then, but they just can't complete it or like mark it done.
No, they will. They can complete it, but they can't close it. So
perfect. Because
your accounting department was going to want to review all the completed work orders and then pay them off. When a vendor is assigned to the work order, they have to complete it in a certain due date. Now, again, this is a dummy account. It's under the My To-Do list. That's on the mobile as well. Email and push notifications go out. The vendor will be able to create a digital invoice on their iPads or whatever they're using, and they can manage, excuse me, they can manage purchase ordering. So all that is, again, yes, digitally, but the vendor unlimited role, we allow them to create work orders in your account. So this vendor, they came in, they're trying to fix the sink. You've assigned them to this work order. Someone said, hey, the sink is plugged in so-and-so room. What if they notice that the drain is also clogged? So they can actually submit a work order. You can approve it while you're in Alaska, and then they can complete both of these work orders and invoice you on the same day rather than coming back tomorrow. So that's the benefit of that submit work order piece. All right, so other than this, this is what we're going to do today. We're going to look at the different ways you're going to manage your work orders. The calendar is also on the listen calendar maps. They're also on the mobile. Company-wide is the every work order in all of your sites, and that's only available to the company admin. When you log in, or most people log in, it's going to bring you to the list view. So today we're going to manage all the views. We're going to create a work order and close it. We're going to look at preventive maintenance, and then we'll run a report to see what kind of costs we can pull from the work order that you created today. All right, so list view, very important. Using the checkboxes, download the CSV file, status report, multi-print your work orders. Also, these first 10, I can complete them in a single click, right? So if you're generating like thousands of work orders like University of Florida, yeah, this is handy, but in your case, I think you guys can manage them one at a time. You can assign vendor to all 10 in a single click, or one of your maintenance team in a single click. Again, great if you've got tons of work orders. I'm showing 105 work orders right now. That's because in status, I'm hiding my canceled, overdue, and rejected work orders. If I want to see those every time I log in, now I've got 2216 on my desktop, okay? But when I cancel and reject a work order, I don't care to load it. In progress, on hold, I don't care. And overdue, whatever, I've got an overdue list here. I don't need it on my list view. So from here, now I've got, I'm back to 95 work orders, okay? And let's say I want to know what Steve is up to, one of our super maintenance staff guys. Out of those 95 work orders, Steve is assigned to 21 of them, okay? This one here, I can't edit it unless I was an administrator, and I would have this bring it down. Right now it's stored in the cloud. It is offline, okay? Steve made it offline on his phone because he didn't have internet, etc. But as a company admin, I can override that and bring it online again. So really quick way to find out what, you know, staff is working on what, and you can see most of Steve's work orders are completed. Again, use the check boxes, close them with a single click if you wanted to. So live search is throughout the entire application. Every page in Maxpanda has the live search. Any questions on the list view so far?
No, it seems pretty straightforward.
Excellent. All right, back to 95. All right, so let's go. List view is the one of the views. Map view, I don't think you're going to use it a lot. It's it helps you to see assigned assets, who's got what asset assigned to them. The staff and vendor, you can track them on the map with if they have GPS on in our mobile app. You can look at approved work orders. So all of, and it's site wide. So for all of these sites here. So one here, 6 in Virginia, etc. Now the calendar is more handy especially in your world. On the desktop, it'll ask you to do a quick filter. Like, do you want to see meters, work orders, metering type work orders, future PMs coming up this month, or work orders, or maybe just for single staff. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to run the calendar. Now, the calendar has a couple of benefits that the list view doesn't. Number one is today's the 21st. As you can see on the 23rd, I have these blue work orders. Okay, they're not work orders yet. These are scheduled PMs. So here, check furnace, I've got it running every 3 weeks, maybe. I don't know. Pole strength is every weekend. So these are future work orders. And the second benefit is drag and drop. So let's say this one here, check the furnace. My vendor is unavailable to start on Saturday. So you can drag and drop this for a start date for tomorrow. Maxpanda is going to notify everyone, set up the new due dates, start times, everything automatically, just for that occurrence, not the entire PM schedule, just for this one itself. So again, future work orders review and drag and drop capabilities. Any questions on those 3 views, Chris? Chris, you there? I'm guessing you have a phone call.
Sorry, I had you on mute. What was that? Hang on real quick.
I said, did you have any questions?
Oh, no, sorry. That's I kept repeating myself. Sorry about that. I had it on mute.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a work order. Chris, why don't you give me an example of what something someone saw in the facility and needs attention, repair, whatever.
Let's just say, you know, we have a cultivation room that has like a routine maintenance on it. I kind of want to just try this scenario. It has routine maintenance that we might do in-house. Are we able to assign like maintenance stuff to in-house people, or does it all the work orders always have to be to like a vendor?
No, both.
Okay, cool. So, every time we tear down a room and restart a room,
yeah,
you know, we have a routine HVAC maintenance where we have to go through and clean filters.
I understand that's a task, like a checklist that it's going to be digital, and then you can assign it to a PM. PM stands for preventive maintenance. These are scheduled already. So
okay, so this would be a work order. This would be different.
Yeah, like an incident report, submitted work order, whatever.
Let's say in our even in our HVAC stuff, if we have a blown compressor or something.
Okay, like compressor. Yeah. Okay, great. So I'll be Steve, one of your maintenance staff, noticed it, etc. So again, I can actually go to the compressor, scan the QR code that you pasted on it, and then submit that work order right away. It pre-populates everything, the building, the location, the asset, etc. In this case, I'm on my desktop. I'll just click submit work order here. All right, compressor. Compressor. Oh my goodness. Compressor has its lid. How about that? All right. This text I'm writing, whether it's on the mobile or desktop, is going to become the hyperlink that Chris is going to receive. So Chris, you don't even need to get notified. You're going to get an email, and the subject is, and the hyperlink and the subject line is going to be compressor has blown its lid, right? Mm-hmm. You click the link, it'll take you right to the work order, whether you're on the desktop or the mobile. It's also the push notification, you know, the pop-ups on your iOS, on your Apple or devices and Android. So again, you click those pop-ups, the push notification, take you right to the work order. Reference ID is an open field. You can use it any way you want. And again, you can customize the letters here, or sorry, the labels. So reference ID, you can change it to GL code or some kind of code that only you guys use. I'll just put 1, 2, 3 here. Category, this is obviously HVAC, again, customizable and required, right? You need a title, category, priority to submit a work order or create a PM. So I'm going to put HVAC. Priority. Steve now really wants this done quickly. Let's say I want this done in 24 hours. So you're going to have low, medium, high, urgent as the default due date notifications and priorities. All of these were customized by myself. So you can create your own due dates. So the longest one I've got is 14-day or 30-day due date. So Steve is crazy. He wants it due in 24 hours. I'm going to copy and paste my notes. These things are optional here. So add CC, Steve can carbon copy somebody outside who does not have an account in your account. So maybe a vendor that doesn't use, I don't know, smartphones or doesn't like to log in. He just wants an email copy. Filter by building. So here we need to pick our building. Now, where is this problem? So it's at the Richmond plant. And when you click your building, it asks me, it'll provide the locations that Chris has set up. So in this case, it's the pump station. So that's my building, and that's the location, pump station, and the location type is grounds. When you click assets, it's going to show you, okay, I don't have the right one here. I want to pick the other location. When you click on assets, it's going to show you all assets assigned within that location. So there's the pump I want to show you today. So just pretend this is an HVAC unit that's blown its lid. In my case, I'm saying, you know, it's the pump, asset tag number that you guys tag it at, and it's got a warranty due date, and the status is active right now. So you can modify status on the assets as well. Submitters can't touch this stuff, but I'm logged in as a company admin. So in this case, I don't, having this off means the vendor has to ask permission to come in the building. Files, not if this was on the mobile, I can take a picture of, the thing smoking or burning, whatever, making noise, because you can capture Office doc, any pictures, PDFs, and audio files. I'll submit that work order. So Steve just submitted the work order. Two things are happening. Number one is you've got a new pending work order on your dashboard. So let's start from the beginning again. Forget about Steve. I'm going to be Chris now. Chris, you just got an email, a push alert, and you have a new pending work order on your desktop. You'll know exactly what the problem is, where the problem is, and what it relates to, the asset or the location. We have asset downtime module. Are you familiar with this?
No, I'm not.
So if this machine here is actually broken and it's not really, repairable, you can put it to downtime. So it's a clock that will measure how long it's been down for. If you put this asset to downtime, set it to downtime, no one else can create a work order against it, and all the PMs that you have set up will stop generating against it because it's really broken. We can't repair it right now. So you send it out for repair, or somebody repairs it, and you can bring it back up again, uptime. So that's just one way to manage your assets. Now, Chris needs. Sorry. So now what you need to do is you're going to, like Chris, you're reviewing this on your mobile. You can approve or reject this work order. Okay. If you click reject on the mobile, there's a pop-up. Steve was not going to get that info. Any pop-up info goes into the status history permanently. So if you guys were public or you get audited, all status histories, everything that happens in the work orders are always permanently in the status history. We're not going to reject it today. We will approve it. Now, the email system is the notes and the comments in Maxpanda. So the notes is what Steve can continuously add to. Like tomorrow I can add this, and you're going to get another email with the updated comment. But the comment is where your maintenance staff or vendor would put in the comments, like replaced fan or replaced motor, invoice attached, whatever. That's what this comment here is going to get sent back to Steve. So he knows what was done, and that it is completed. If you don't want Steve to get any comments, you would put it here in the private notes section. Okay. Going down here, all of the timestamps are done automatically by simply using your thumb and clicking the status buttons. So we timestamp everything. Now, Chris, you know who created it. They have a username, they logged in. We know where the issue is, that building, that location, and for this piece of equipment. Now we're going to assign it to a vendor. This is my vendor, external vendor contractors. I'm going to assign Acme Electric to the work order. They're going to have a new work order on my to-do list, and they're going to be responsible to complete it within, not in one day. We're going to be nice and give them a week because it isn't really an emergency. So Chris, you're downgrading the due date, okay? So Acme Electric, the vendor, has a week to complete it. Let's add the maintenance team. This is our staff now, okay? I'm going to add Amber. I'm going to add Jack and Maxwell. So 3 of our maintenance team, and only you can see their hourly rate if you want to set them up. On the mobile, they're going to put in how many hours and minutes they worked. that's going to allow you to create labor cost reports. That means if Amber worked an hour, you're going to capture $45 in labor costs. I can run a report or schedule a weekly report to be sent to me, and which will tell me exactly how much is Amber costing the organization every week, month, year, whatever. We also have tool time if you want to use it. It's a start and stop clock. This will measure how long did it take Amber to replace the motor actually using tools. So this could have been 1 hour. But, you know, she had to go get the tools. She had to go buy parts at Home Depot, wherever. Total labor hours was like 5 hours, right? So we allow you to capture 2 different hours. So we've assigned it to 3 staff. I'm going to go back up here now to the task module. A task is something that you develop your in your task library, a bunch of checklists. So I'm going to add a new one. I added the pump to this work order, or sorry, Steve did. So Chris, now you want a digital checklist. You want a full checklist done on the pump. So you created this thing a year ago, you just click add. I'll show you what a checklist looks like. So when you add a task to a Maxpanda work order, all this has to be completed before the work order can be completed. So think of it like a project within a project. So this is a full checklist on the CRN pump. Okay, it's a template that we added to this work order. You can assign a different staff and a different vendor to the task. So Home Depot with Donald are responsible to do the checklist, not to replace the motor. Now, the type of details you can capture, which these are going to be completed on the mobile, are checkboxes. You can capture numbers, letters, range values, dates with time. So a range value could be like a pressure check, a temperature check. So if I put in 134 here, it is inside of Chris's desired range. So everything is cool. I'm going to be able to complete the task, right? And save my data. Then I can go and complete the work order. But what happens if I put 234? That's outside of the range that Chris set up. So I'll still be able to complete the task, but Chris, you're going to get an email and a link right to this task. You need to know when things are outside of your task range. Now I'm going to remove the task. Do you have any questions on tasks?
No, it seems pretty straightforward. It seems like you could really set a lot of parameters and like.
Yeah. I'll remove it on this work order because I don't want to click a whole bunch of checkboxes. Now, part management. I know you guys use a lot of parts, so you'll notice 3 parts came up automatically. It's because the work order, the asset that was assigned to the work order, I pre-assigned these 3 parts to it. So they'll always appear on every work order automatically. This way my staff know exactly the size of filter, what kind of glue, metal rings to bring to do a repair or fix on this unit. We have your cost, and with average as cost as well per part, and your inventory. So as you can see here, metal ring, we got 271. You can set minimum part notification when this number hits 200. Email Chris, and Chris can create a PO right away. So here, this is where the staff would put in, or vendor, how many internal parts they use. We added staff. We don't have an invoice from your vendor yet. Well, again, Chris is still approving it. Work order attachment will store every upload that's been attached to this work order. And again, as many as you want. Company attachments is things that Chris set up. So that floor that we selected, we have an aerial and we have a floor plan. The floor plan will be available for everyone within this work order who's assigned to the work order. We also have a Google map to help our vendors know how to get to, the facility or whatever. The piece of equipment, this pump here, we've got a YouTube video, a movie file that will help our team understand how to fix this thing. We have the manual and a floor plan of exactly where it's situated in the manufacturing plant. Same with the part. Now these things will always appear if that particular location, asset, and part is selected. Okay, I know I went into a lot of detail. I do apologize, but Chris,
no worries.
All you had to really do is define your preferred due date, make sure everything, extended or keep it the same, and add your staff or vendor and click approve. Now on the mobile, literally that takes, 20 seconds. So two things just happened. I got a push alert. I got an email. Steve received an email saying, great news, work order 2 million has been approved. So I don't need to call you, Chris. I don't need to bug you. I know you guys are starting the job, right? And everyone assigned to the work order also received an email and a push alert. So let's go ahead and open it up now. On the mobile, it's a little bit more streamlined. Now, you'll notice there's more status options, okay? Your staff will not be able to close or cancel. I'm logged in, remember, as a company admin, so I get to do everything. But your staff and vendor, their job is to complete the work order. But what happens if they had to order parts from out of state and the part's not going to arrive within 7 days? They can put the work order on hold, okay? 8 days, 9, 10 days from now, the part arrives, they can put it back to in progress or simply complete the work order. Okay, today we're going to skip all that. We're just going to close it. So one of your vendors put in here, replace motor, invoice attached, thanks. Another one of your maintenance person, maybe Amber, said vendor was nice, whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whatever you guys want to do. Upload more pictures, files, whatever. Tasks, the task was done. And remember, you can add multiple tasks, which have unlimited, checkboxes to complete. Parts, for some reason, our vendor and your staff used 7 of these. Oh, there's no cost to them, so I'm not going to get any values. So let's just go 0 and let's go 21 of these. So we use 21 of these to repair, to complete this work order, right? So this number is going to go down to something of 37. If you can set a minimum part notification at like 40, and you would have got an email to order more resin glue. Staff, each one of your maintenance team on the mobile, put in how many hours they worked. So 3, 10, 11 or whatever averages there. No, only the person assigned to the work order can start and stop the tool time. So there's buttons here and on the mobile. Now, invoice, your vendor would have added that invoice. So Acme Electric right here, 409.50, that's what they charged us. So they created an invoice for 409.50. I just have an old one. I'll just add to it. No one uploaded any pictures, etc. So at this point, this work order should be orange, and you would have got an email and a push alert on your phone. If you're happy, satisfied with it, you can invoice or pay out the vendor or simply close the work order. Again, status history stuff. I'm not going to do anything. So again, we're changing the status. Everyone assigned to the work order got an email and a push alert. And the work order has disappeared from the screen now. It is under closed work orders there. So any questions on that process at all, Chris?
No. Honestly, it seems really straightforward. Like you could really custom tailor everything to your organization. It's very robust and in depth. And
excellent.
I think for me, do you guys offer like a sandbox account or anything like that I could play around with?
There's a 7-day trial, but I could extend that for you. That's no problem.
Yeah, we do have a lot of, I want to say upload would be simple, but at the same time, I'm managing stuff on a spreadsheet, but not this in-depth and robust. So there is going to be a lot of information we'll manually have to enter. Mm-hmm. And I would like to just see how it works. We might try one location and see how all of it works, but like, man, it's pretty awesome, to be honest with you, cool. What I'm seeing. It's very, very robust and straightforward. Really, really looks like you can customize this to exactly fit your organizational needs. And that's a big, big plus for us, especially if it'll integrate with, ERP system like Acumatica.
Yeah, using your R API, you can, every piece of data in this menu system, you can push it to whatever ERP you want. And pull as well. So let's do the last two things now. this is a single PM. All right, the details, the schedule, any tasks you want. You mentioned something about set up a new room or
So
set
it
up.
just, every time we harvest a room, there's a certain like maintenance that needs to be done to each room, right?
Okay, and
Swap
that could be
filters, we clean, etc. There's a procedure involved.
perfect, and that could be one of your checklists, like a
Exactly.
task here. So this PM is related to that pump we saw earlier. So I'm just calling this PM the title clean and inspection, right? Instead of a 7-day due date, I'm giving my staff 21 days to complete every work order that this PM will generate. I've got it under plumbing this time. This is what the manufacturer wants us to do. So this is what you're talking about, that checklist. So you can either put it in the notes, like copy paste or upload the manual. The manual will go here. So this is the procedure diagram. So the O&M manual for this pump. Again, we have a picture of where it's installed and a safety checklist. So these documents will appear above and beyond what you saw earlier. Okay.
And you could attach the exact documents for each exact procedure.
Correct. So that's my procedure diagram right here for this clean and inspection. So, but I also wrote it up as well. Then in the PM, you put in what building, location. A PM can, like our work orders can have multiple assets, multiple locations. So you don't have to create one PM for 5 assets. You can have one PM for all 5 pieces of equipment. Parts, I pre-assigned those parts already at the asset level. I don't need to do it here. Now, this is cool because in this PM, I've got 2 of our maintenance staff automatically assigned and 2 of our vendors. They will automatically get every email and push alert and be assigned, right, to every work order that this pump PM creates. We have all staff rotation as well. That means if this is a monthly check, monthly PM, Amber's going to be assigned to the first, like January, and then Maxwell in February. So you can alternate assignment. Here's your schedule. So my PM, I got it running on the first Sunday of every 2 months. So every second month, generate a work order automatically against that pump to do a cleaning and inspection, right? Any permutation you can think of, you can do it here. So this would create 3 work orders every week. Tasks, we look at that. Attachments, we looked at that. And every PM you develop, Maxpanda will store every generated work order it's created for you. So you don't even need to create a report. You can look at, okay, what did we do to this pump in the last year? Well, here it is. So I can actually go back to April of 2015 and edit the work order that the PM generated. I can see what did we do to the unit, who worked on it, what were the costs, etc. Any questions on PMs?
No, that's pretty straightforward as well.
Excellent. Let's run a report and then we'll call it a day for some Q&A. If you look at our reporting tools, we've got 30 reports customized. These were all customized by customers, right? So I guarantee the data that you're looking for is here because they're all grouped by parts, labor, building, asset, work orders. I'm going to run the SLA report, but before I do that, we also have a Kpi Analytics Dashboard. Now, this is permanent up here. It'll tell you from year to date how many work orders you're doing in all different statuses. You can hide overdues, for example, and closed and whatever. Now, down here, you can add 12 KPIs, okay? I have one called part usage every week, total PMs by the week, part costs. So I only have 3 of them, but you can develop 12 of them. And every week it'll have new data for you. And you can download the PDF file. But today we're going to download some raw data so you can push it to your ERP system. So I want to know all my costs from September till today. Okay, I'll show you my header info, and I'm not going to customize this report. I want all work orders, all PMs, and all meter work orders, all statuses in all categories. And I'm going to preview this report in DevExpress engine in my browser. Now, Within 15 seconds, Maxpanda is crunching me nearly 2 months of data. We're done. And I just generated a 3-page report. I can print, save, download in various formats. Some reports we provide eight formats. Now, what you could do right now is click download here. This download will download a filterable Excel sheet with all of these filters, or you can just save this report as is. You can hide your header info, like the top part, and just download raw data into a CSV and just upload that into your ERP system. That is the old school way, right? Like the manual way. Better way is to set up the API, and the API will consume this data every week or every month, and you can push it automatically into the ERP without that manual process. So let's look at your work order today. Compressor has blown its lid. So this is all about the time. Okay, it'll show you the status, when it was created, approved, start date. Remember the planned due date? Steve wanted it due tomorrow, right? But then you changed it to 7 days. But in fact, we completed it today. In the middle of the report is all the relevant information, notes, who closed it, etc. And at the far end, you will have your total hours from your maintenance team, your labor cost, the parts cost, all the parts that we use, those 6 or 8 parts, the invoice from your vendor, and today the blower cost the company $16.48 in repairs. That's one work order. You've got 3 pages in there, and every column is customizable, just like the views in Maxpanda. Now, you really like this data. It's valuable for accounting. Schedule it. Okay. We don't want Chris coming in here every day or every week and forgetting or manually generating these work order or these reports.
Oh, that's awesome.
You can schedule it for Monday, every Monday, or the first Monday of every month. Okay. So weekly or monthly, pick your format. I like Excel, and I'll also carbon copy the CFO so they don't have to come in and generate reports. So again, we've got your reports scheduled here. That's why I don't know if you're going to need the API, but again, it's there. Use it if you like. Any questions on the reporting tools?
No. Again, that seems pretty straightforward.
Cool.
I might reach out to recap this, but I would like to do a trial and get the rest of my team together with it. So I do have to hop to another call.
No problem.
But I'm very, very interested. Honestly, this is the best thing that I've looked at so far.
Super.
In terms of CMMS programs. So I guess maybe if you could just send me a follow-up.
Yeah, I'm going to send you. Yeah, I'll send you an email. It'll have this page as well. Obviously, start the trial. You will need a credit card to create your account. Again, you can cancel at any time. Every new customer does get a 7-day trial. We'll give you 5 weeks. We'll add a free month on board. That really you won't need more than a few days to set up your account, especially if you have a lot of digital stuff. But I know you're busy as well, so it takes time. So hopefully you'll get a good feel for it within that 5-week period. Does that sound okay? Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and then cancel or continue on. Your first billing period won't start till 5 weeks from now. Again, you choose. You're in control. Upgrade, downgrade. You're in control of the account. We don't push people to higher or lower accounts. If you ever hit 100 and you're in the starter plan, the submit button gets frozen. Your PMs stop generating. So you have 2 options. You can wait for your anniversary day within that month. That'll go back down to 0. Or you're going to consistently hit over 100. That's when you would upgrade.
So you recommend starting at starter?
Well, if you're just setting up and learning the system, yeah, you're not going to generate work orders and PMs right now. Just start with the starter plan. When all the PMs, you've created them all, like under here. creating your PMs, and then you're ready to kick them in, and you think you're going to generate another 50, 60 work orders a month, that's when you would just upgrade to the next level. It's up to you. I mean, you guys got billions of dollars anyway, so you can start at the enterprise for all I care. I'm joking. You don't need to start anywhere. You can start at the starter, and when you're ready to go, kick it in. Everyone who has an account with you has the support panel there. We also have 24-hour support. Everything we talked about is on the university docs here. Even the API, how to integrate Zapier API. So if you want to learn more about Task Library, it's all here. System updates on our blog. We have updates every Thursday night. So today's went live already. Next Thursday, there's 10 huge updates going live. This stuff's all from our customers. It's, a new customer comes on board, says, it'd be great to have whatever, this feature. So we'll build it. There's no cost to that.
Awesome. Well, again, I got to jump for another call. I'll recap with you shortly and look forward to reconnecting with you.
Cool. Thanks for your time, Chris. Talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Awesome.